welcome back. You're still watching Business Incorporated on Channels Television. Now, according to the Global Startup Ecosystem Report, GSER 2021, by Startup Genome and a Global Entrepreneurship Network, African technology ecosystem is worth about $6.6 billion in value, and this is an indication that the African tech ecosystem may have witnessed remarkable levels of growth in the past decade, buoyed by outbreak of COVID-19, of course, which we felt last year. But is the continent maximizing the opportunities inherent in the system? We have Ajiwala Udukuya, Chief Operating Officer of Afrilabs, joining us from Abuja to share his thoughts on this. Hello, Ajiwala. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much.
Good to have you. So it's been said that Africa is not doing badly at all, and the market is even booming when we talk about the, the tech ecosystem. But are we maximizing the opportunities in this system at this time?
I would say we're beginning to identify the opportunities. We're definitely not maximizing it at the moment. Young people are just, moving into the fore. A lot of people are starting to believe in our population. They've seen our actions abroad. Every time an African goes abroad, they excel. So the world is paying attention to our human resource, especially our women. African women are amazing. They're responsible for 70 to 80% of trade in some cases in Africa. So, we're starting to embrace that whole ecosystem as a culture. Also, we've seen that we have high capacity for problem-solving skills. We are adaptable. Whatever environment you put us in, the continent is multilingual. So even if you put us out of the continent, we can adapt to different types of cultures. And this is peculiar to Africans. And also, government also is waking up to the fact that, the young people are driving things. Technology is also driving things by influencing startup bills. And in 5 different countries, Afrilabs has helped in that. Tunisia, for one, is doing fantastic with the government. For example, the government gives opportunity for people, whether you're working in the public sector or private sector, to go on leave to start up, and they guarantee your old job back when you come in. So these are the types of opportunities that are going on, and we can see that interest is booming in that area. So the more interest, the more light is shared on it, the more opportunities come in. So I'm not surprised $6.6 billion this year. We can do more next year.
We'll certainly look forward to doing more. Well, tech startups have this challenge of funding, because you need to grow, you need to start a business and things like that. How can key players in the African tech innovation community address this funding challenge and some other inherents in the system?
Yeah, the funding challenge is really caused by the educated few Africans. It's a lack of education, the educated. If our money comes in from foreign sources, they will be using their money to push in foreign agendas. So we need to wake up as Africans. We need to start investing in our own startup ecosystems. Look at the facts. Most of our unicorns are foreign funded. Most of the funding comes from Europe, 70 to 80%. So they're just pushing their agendas and we'll end up being consumers again. So we as Africans on the continent need to start putting our money where our solutions are. We can start building solutions for African problems. So in response, Afrilabs has opened a co-matching fund with ABAN, that's the India Business Network in Africa, to create a $1.5 million fund to help Africa build African solutions. So the funding really needs to come from the continent. We can't create a hand-made process when it comes to technology. Technology is the leveling playing field. I believe Africans have the money, we have the numbers, so even if we're investing little, but based on the multiplying effect of our population, we can reach these gaps. The funding gaps can be reached by Africans. And I think it's time for us to also close the door on foreign investment and start building our own investment from within. We can drive our own agendas and stop creating innovations that are for the first world. We need to start creating innovations for ourselves. There's some basic needs that have not been addressed. But what you see is a lot of startups are going to an advanced level to create solutions that are not even needed in our environment because the money is not coming from our environment. So those are things we really need to look at.
Yeah, well, sounds like looking inwards there. Well, let's have your projection briefly now. Your projection for the near future when we talk about opportunities, when we talk about innovations in this space.
Okay, so projections, we can't even project the impact of African innovation in the world. This is put on tap. We have innovations that have happened non-digital for hundreds of years. There's some villages that have perfected certain things that the world has never seen. I'll give an example. Two Igbo boys from the US came for Christmas to, spend Christmas in Nigeria. They spent time in the village. They found that midwives, when children are given birth in the village, from the first cry, the midwives can know whether the child has a defect or not. So they digitized this process, did algorithms on it, took it back to California, and built a solution that is used in the US by doctors. So when a baby is born, through the first cry, there's a device that would listen to the cry and generate data to see if the baby is sick or not. This is an innovation that the world has never seen before, but it has been happening in this village in Africa for over 300 years. So the world is really ready for us to bring our own ideas to the table. Innovation is not taking a solution that works in America and localizing it to Africa. That is not innovation. You're just rebranding. So it's really African innovation. It is time. It is time for us to bring our own things that no one has seen before. We have them. So let's digitize our own local ideas. Also, policy change. We've seen African governments increasingly embracing and create an enabling society for tech to grow. You can see Lagos State, you can see in Tunisia, you can see in Senegal, in South Africa. It's starting to move because governments can now see the benefits. What happened in the past was startups were moving very fast, leaving government behind. So now with Afrilabs, we do a lot of policy advocacy for government to actually understand the advantages of promoting a startup culture or an innovative culture. Now you can now tax startups. They're coming into the formal sector. The government can actually see the benefits of this.
All
So,
right, Ajiwala.
it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, well,
Thank
I guess
the
thing there is for us to believe, as Africans, to believe in ourselves, and project that to the world. Thank you so much, Ajiwala Udukuya, Chief Operating Officer of Afrilabs.
Thank you very much.